outside 2 o'clock in the morning. You wake up in a cold sweat, confused as to why you look to your right and see that you had forgotten to turn your television off. The glow from the screen irritates your eyes, and you can just barely make out the noises coming from the television. Now, if you were a Nickelodeon enjoyer, you were in for a rude awakening from the horrors of the George Lopez show. But if you were a based Cartoon Network enjoyer, you may have been awoken to one of the most insane shows ever created using nothing but Photoshop. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I present to you Aqua Teen Hunger Force.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, today we are going to talk about one of my most favorite shows of all time. Incredibly surreal, bizarrely random, and strangely brilliant. In this video, we are going to talk about the background of Aqua Teen Hunger Force, explore the show's signature humor, analyze its cultural impact, and why it still resonates with all of us in our hearts, as well as just talk about how insane the show is, because it is insane. Just talking about it for God knows how long this video is going to be very fun, because there is just, it's nonsense.
There's a friggin' Easter egg in my yard!
Well, that's probably Eggzilla, Carl. Here's that fire-breathing Easter egg come out of my mind.
Of course!
My name's Dakosity. I love you for clicking on this video. You're a real cool guy for doing that, man. I do like when people do that when they click on my videos and stuff. That's very nice and kind of you. Let's just hop right into it, shall we? So for context and background, Aqua Teen Hunger Force premiered in the early 2000s during the Adult Swim block of Cartoon Network. It was created by Dave Willis and Matt Mylaro. I'm sorry, I can't say your last name, my friend. Who both worked on Space Ghost Coast to Coast, which is important because Space Ghost, if you haven't heard of it, I'm not going to get into it too deeply, but basically this show was very influential on Adult Swim's general vibe and just sense of humor in general. You can tie a lot of Adult Swim's identity to Space Ghost Coast to Coast. Episodes were incredibly short. They were about 11 minutes each. Low budget, intentionally weird production. Most characters only had a few animations to work with. It was done in Photoshop, I'm pretty sure. But this minimalist approach ended up giving the show a very unique feel and matched its surreal humor very, very well. But you can't have a show without characters. And boy oh boy did these people come up with some interesting characters, to say the least. Our main cast, Master Shake.
One of the liberal media and the dental industry to scare you into buying useless appliances and pastes. Now, I've read the arguments on both sides, and I haven't found any evidence yet to support the need to brush your teeth. Ever.
I will pee all over my pants, and then who's gonna end up looking bad, huh?
An egotistical, lazy milkshake cup who always thinks he's the smartest guy in the room. He abuses his roommates. Just a real dickhead, and usually the one who ends up getting killed at the end of the episode.
Gimme!
Oh no, my top just came off.
Wow, look at that.
Oh dear.
I'll look.
And I said usually. Sometimes it's other people. And the next episode, everyone's just fine. Nothing matters in this show. As you will soon see, Frylock, a levitating box of fries with a goatee. Generally, he's the voice of reason, but some episodes he comes off very weird.
Tell me I've been bad.
Yes, you've been acting up lately.
Oh, I'm sorry.
For example, Frylock tries to court this tech woman, and she already has a boyfriend, but he's just like stalking her. He's dressing up all weird with these mechanical legs and ends up just killing this guy.
Later, Tater.
How do you like my Ray? Ray?
Which just adds to the surreal humor because generally he is the voice of reason, but now he's just kind of insane. I guess that's more irony. I don't know. Big words don't work no good in my brain. And then there's the lovable meatball meatwad.
We're talking. You want to tell me what it friggin' says?
Well, what says?
The note?
What note?
The one on the side of my house.
Oh, that, yeah. Well, I don't remember.
Of course.
who can morph into random shapes, although this never actually comes into play 99% of the time. He's often the innocent childlike figure, even though he's apparently 38 years old. Frylock is generally a father figure to him, trying to guide him into not doing stupid stuff and not get himself hurt, even though Meatwad is seemingly immortal. And then there's their neighbor. By the way, all of those fast food people, they all live in the same house in New Jersey in a rental, consisting of a kitchen, a living room, Frylock's room, and Meatwad's room. I don't think they have a bathroom. Master Shake is never shown to have a room himself, and I'm pretty sure we only ever see one other home, which is the home of their neighbor Carl Brutenalinsky. I can't pronounce his name, but that's part of the joke. He's their neighbor, a middle-aged man in a sweaty tank top. He hates them, but deep down he loves them.
Awfully quiet over there. The Maniac Ranch. Maybe they got monoxide poisoning, Maybe I should check. Make sure it happened.
Probably because he has nothing else going on in his life, and if he didn't have the Aqua Teen Hunger Force next to him, he would just be jerking off all day. I'm not even kidding. They do an episode like this where they're gone, and he's just calling old classmates, trying to get them to like hook up or something, and just being like incredibly weird and creepy.
Still got that cleavage. Still smuggling balloons wherever you go. Where are you now? Hello?
And lonely. Now, if you watch the first few episodes, the show is supposed to be about the Aqua Teen Hunger Force, Master Shake, Frylock, Meatwad. They are the Aqua Teen Hunger Force. They're a detective group. They're supposed to be out solving crimes, being detectives, actually doing things with plots. But they throw that away almost immediately. Episodes generally consist of just nonsense happening for 11 minutes with a very loosely put together plot. Almost like they just showed up in the writing room and just started writing down ideas at the wall, mixing them together, and that's it. They shipped it. There you go. And it works so unbelievably well. They often start off normal and then just completely spiral into nonsensical territory. For example, evil villains like the Moonanites, who aren't even really evil villains, just kind of antagonists, or just flat out minor nuisances.
Hello, Carl. I am Ignignoct, and this is
I am
We are Moonanites from the inner core of the moon.
You said it right.
Our race is hundreds of years beyond yours.
Man, do you hear what he's saying?
Some would say that the Earth is our moon.
We're the moon.
But that would belittle the name of our moon, which is the moon.
Point is, we're at the center, not you.
No, the real point is, I don't give a damn.
Oh yeah, the video.
You were filming, right?
Is this on?
Here, take a picture of me. I'm gonna saw my own head off.
Yeah, do that. That'll show him.
Yes, it will. Down on your knees, America. The rivers will run red with my blood.
We'll just randomly show up, spout nonsense, try to sell them something, talk about how awesome the moon is, cause havoc for absolutely no reason, and then that's it. The episode ends with no clear conclusion to the plot, the almost non-existing plot. The show's writing is just unapologetically weird, but that's the hook. That's why you watch this show. It's on Adult Swim. What did you expect? And my God, do they do this well. They have these constant references to pop culture, but in this twisted, half-serious, half-joking manner. Incredibly random appearances from celebrities or just references to very old commercials. Non-sequiturs or offbeat comedic timing, which felt fresh compared to the sitcoms of the time. Mind you, this was the early 2000s. Everything was a sitcom. Everything was very structured. The show was definitely a breath of fresh air back then. I would know. I was like 3 years old. I think my first time seeing this show, I was like 10. My mom was very awesome. I got to watch every adult show once I knew what sex was, which was very early because I was a very smart kid. I could kind of figure things out. I was like, Mom, I know they don't come from storks. Come on. I was really into animals, so like I knew what reproducing was, Weird tangent. Which honestly, it makes sense because this show does that a lot, just going off onto really random tangents. Look at that. I'm staying on topic, I swear to God. Dark comedy and shock value is where the show really shines, though, on top of the surreal humor. It is not for the faint of heart. People getting chopped in half, mutilated, their skin torn off. The anatomy of our main characters is very inconsistent. Some days Master Shake is an actual cup. The other days when he gets sliced in half, there's skin and bone under there. Something I should mention about Frylock too, by the way, since I mentioned it before, I forgot to say this. He has this gem, like this big gem on his back, which is also very inconsistent about the rules on that. But that gem powers his powers. He's able to shoot lightning out of his eyes. I think he can also freeze stuff. He can also shoot out fire extinguisher stuff for some reason. They just give him powers and he rarely uses them when you think he would use them, which makes it all the more funny when he does, because usually they'll get into trouble and it'll seem like it's hopeless, but then Frylock's just like, screw this, and blows up, like, for example, the trees that were trying to sue Carl for dumping stuff in their forest.
Seize him! Greenie there, Matlock. I see you to wait until now to do that.
You're both guilty as hell, you know that, don't you?
Dialogue feels very improvised and spontaneously written, which adds a very raw comedic style. And this is enhanced by the fact that the cast plays off of each other so very, very well. I keep saying very, I'm sorry. I'm not a very good writer for scripts, apparently. I didn't write a script for this. I put down like 6 bullet points and I'm yapping. Like and subscribe, ladies and gentlemen, for the Yaposity channel. Carl's line reads are especially just amazing. He has some of the best quotes of the franchise.
Damn it.
I got a gift for you.
Go away, go away. So tired of this. Friggin' go away, you freak.
Carl, did you do something behind the couch?
Yeah, I did. I lost peace and quiet. What do you need? What do you want? Can I not just live here without having to occasionally deal with you animals?
Daddy?
Next door. Jackass.
Now you were like in your 40s.
40,000. Million.
Damn, son.
Look. Yeah! Tonight!
But you know, I've talked about how amazing and awesome and super funny and surreal that this show is. I'm sure I've thrown in some clips here and there. But what is the cultural impact of the show, you ask, I'm sure? It was a pioneer of adult animation. Like I said, it was one of the, earliest Adult Swim shows to early 2000s. It heavily defined Adult Swim's identity. It paved the way for a new era of adult cartoons that weren't just Simpsons-styled family structures or South Park social commentary. Instead, it just embraced the weird, the random, and the surreal. It became a cult classic almost immediately, which doesn't even make any sense because, if something is a classic, it kind of has to be old, right? Like a little bit. I mean, it is now, but what am I talking about? Mainly because it was so quotable. It aired for 11 seasons. Actually, I think it's 12 now. They recently made a new season with like this brand new animation. I don't like it. I like the comedy's still there, but seeing the characters more animated than they normally are actually kind of is a put off, I'm gonna be honest. They should have made the intro all fully animated like they did and then just kept the show normal. That would have been even funnier. But I digress. I still don't know what that word means, but I'm gonna say because it sounds funny and it's like it fits, it rolls off the tongue. Plus additional specials and a theatrical release and a video game where there's like golf. It's a golfing game with like a bunch of other mini games in it.
Gone pro.
Finish him.
Who was that guy?
That's Ultra Mega Chicken. Open. Closing pretty fast.
Scoot over me, bro. Fatality.
It's insane. This whole franchise is a goddamn monstrosity, but it is a beloved monstrosity. And there were some infamous marketing stunts apparently. In 2007, a marketing campaign involving LED placards, is that how you pronounce that word? I don't know. Of Moonanites in various cities caused a bomb scare in Boston. It showed that Aqua Teen was so off the wall that even their ads could be misunderstood. So now let's dig a little bit deeper into the characters and their chemistry. Since they do make up the meat and potatoes of the show, get it? Get get it? Because, you know, the meat, potatoes, French fries are potatoes, the meat wad. I'm so funny. Put me in a show. Put me somewhere. I want to voice act and act someone. Please, I'm begging you. I never got the chance to even try in my childhood. Please, I'm begging you. Master Shake's chaos. His selfish, juvenile personality is the catalyst for many of the problems that arise in every episode. Not every episode, but some of the ridiculous conflicts at least. He's basically an anti-hero, but he's so incompetent it just makes you laugh. He's generally bullying Meatwad, screwing with some of the technology Frylock is trying to invent. By the way, also Frylock is like a genius for some reason, even though he lives in a rental with two incredibly terrible roommates that doesn't even have a bathroom. They use a pile of clothes in the corner whose clothes they don't even know who owns them as a toilet, apparently, according to them. Although there is no real canon in the show, so that, you know, you don't have to believe anything. Nothing matters. Nothing matters. None of this matters. Frylock grounds the group in logic and scientific solutions. But like I said, ironically, chooses to hang out with them anyway, even though Master Shake and Meatwad are complete morons and generally just kind of make everything worse. As we can see in one of the episodes where Frylock actually ends up leaving, so Master Shake and Meatwad are all alone, and they can't even last like a week before blowing a hole through the wall and everyone's got eyesores to the point where they can't even see anymore and everything's just disgusting and rotting away. This rot is even going over the Carl's house and now his eyes are basically unusable. God, this show's amazing. Meatwad, being a naive child despite being 38 apparently, is the perfect foil to Shake's cruelty and Frylock's intelligence. And his shape-shifting leads to random gags like turning into a hot dog, an igloo, or Abraham Lincoln, and that's generally most of the things he can turn into 99% of the time. Again, like I said, I think earlier in the video, it's never anything useful 9 times out of 10. Actually, it's more so like 99 times out of 100. I might be lowballing it on that, to be honest. I don't think he's ever turned into anything useful. And then there's Carl, the eternal neighbor victim. His crude and often exhausted commentary on the Aqua teens' antics is comedic gold. Wait, I already said comedic gold. It's funny. He's generally the audience's surrogate if the audience was from New Jersey, which I am. So this show has a very special place in my heart because this is literally a reality show to me. He just wants peace, but he can't escape the house of madness that is right next to him and ends up losing his life many times because of it. But don't put all the blame onto the Aqua teens because sometimes it's Carl who's too stupid for his own good and ends up getting himself killed. Like when he tried to fight Meatwad in a weight loss competition using South Bronx Paradise, except he didn't read the box and it didn't say paradise, it said parasite. And a giant parasite grew in his belly and ended up basically becoming him and destroying his skin and coming out of him like an alien. I think they used Frylock's kid as the voice actor for the parasite, by the way. It was very funny.
I win, brother. I win.
I forgot to mention this in the beginning since I didn't know where to fit this. But in the beginning of a lot of the episodes, we would have this very short segment that either had nothing to do with the episode at all, or at least led to the villain of the day, where we would see Dr. Weird and his assistant just creating something or doing something stupid. And then later, there's the Moonanites versus the Plutonians called Space Cotes. This just adds to the surreal randomness of the show because we're getting these random 30-second storylines that are very funny, but half the time they don't even have anything to do with the actual episode.
You are 1.3 seconds late.
Oh, man. That means they're free.
Yes, it does. And you are free to go. Leave the pie.
Hang on, I gotta call my man.
Also, for some reason in the credits, Abraham Lincoln sends the Aqua Teen Hunger Force to space, and then we zoom in on an astronaut's head. It's random. Nothing makes any goddamn sense. But the show isn't just these 4 main characters. No. The show operates on a Villain of the Week format, almost. With some of the most popular being Hand Banana, the dog created through Shake's DNA in a pool by Meatwad, and it ends up, assaulting Carl over and over again.
Why, you talking to me here?
No, not anymore. We're done talking.
Hang on. Let me bend over and pick this thing up again. Hey, banana, no!
Saying tonight, you, yet another quotable phrase from the show. MCP Pants, a spider wearing a shower cap and a diaper who is a rap artist.
Look at me, man. I'm a giant spider wearing a disposable diaper. I'm insane, man.
He had this plan to brainwash people into eating candy using his music so then he can use their blood sugar, the power drills, to go into hell to befriend demons. He ends up getting killed, befriending Satan, who brings him back as different creatures, and basically they play the same plot line over and over again where he's a different, he comes back as a cow and then an old man with these crazy, insane plots. Meatwad keeps listening to his music somehow. There's one episode where they try cloning Master Shake into Major Shake, and by they I mean the Plutonians, because they want to, I don't even remember what their plan was. It was really stupid. They were trying to terraform the world.
They gave me his photo, threw me in a pizza oven, called it a pod, and told me to wing it, and that it would be cool and that it would work.
Why isn't the Earth de-terraforming?
Well, he needs to gain their confidence, and then he can get a job, and then he can start buying pesticides.
So they cloned Master Shake to infiltrate the planet. Major Shake ends up getting there. He's immediately found out because he's just a goopy monstrosity, and then he's just like, yo, yeah, I don't know what they were thinking. He just talks his masters the entire time, the people he's working for, because their plan was so stupid. There's the leprechauns who were stealing people's stuff by tricking them into going into the park to ride the rainbow, and then the rainbow just steals their stuff. This one's not really a villain, but there's like a mini Master Shake that shows up, calling him daddy. Carl pulls a shotgun on him and tells him to get away from his property, and Shake just belittles him the entire episode.
Why do you disappoint me? Second by second, you waste my time. The only reason God doesn't erase you from the face of the earth is because you amuse him somehow.
There's Willie Nelson, who's a monster who lives in their attic. He's a monster who doesn't know how to be a monster, but at the end of the episode, it's revealed that he's been eating people and ripping off their limbs and eating it, but he's so nonchalant about it. Bro walks up to Carl's house on Halloween. He's reading from a script with 2 chainsaws in his hand, telling him to say, nice head, think I'll take it. Nice head, think I'll take it. And then when Carl opens the door, he's just like, oh, hey.
What are you doing here?
I live here, ass.
Dr. Wongburger is another recurring villain. In the initial episode, he's stealing people's peepees to build a penis ship to go to Dick Planet. He's a dick trapped in a man's body and he wants to get to Dick Planet. And then in the next episode, he's apparently stealing people's teeth as a fake tooth fairy because he wants to get to Tooth Planet because he was actually a tooth stuck in a dick's body. They foil that plan. You can't really actually make a rocket ship out of teeth. But then we have this one episode with Master Shake, Frylock, Carl, Meatwad, they're all trying to win a burger. There's this giant burger. You got to keep your hand on it. The last person to take their hands off wins.
You give me a hand job. Both hands.
Okay.
Whoa, get off my job!
Right over here, disqualified, hand job.
Master Shake ends up winning, but the burger was actually Wongburger because he was actually a burger trapped in a tooth trapped in a dick's body, and he wants to take someone with him to Burger Planet. The cybernetic ghost of Christmas past from the future.
Hey, we're back.
Thousands of years ago.
Or a sentient amalgamation of used condoms and needles, because of course.
Your neighbor Carl has hands. I've seen them.
Yeah, but his hands are attached to his body, Lance.
They don't have to be.
I could go on and on naming just countless villains of the show. Like, for example, Count Dracula, who is their landlord. He won't fix the gas leak in their house, so Frylock ends up not paying rent, and they get stolen and put into a cave, webbed up, ready to be used for a birthday party. They're gonna feed them the children, apparently. And this results in a few episodes where Carl is just the main character. Frylock, Meatwad, and Shake aren't actually at the house, and we see Carl trying to help sell and rent out the home. but no one will buy it because apparently it's $25,000 a month and they won't fix the gas leak. It's insane. But why does it still resonate with us? Mainly me. Decades later, the random humor and insane surrealism just sticks. It feels fresh and it's done with confidence. It never tried to be relevant with current topics or events. It just did its own thing. So time has actually been very nice to the show. Nostalgia also helps. It is synonymous with staying up late to watch Adult Swim, watching the weird subversive cartoons of the night. And it paved the way for the comedic style of short episodes, irrelevant humor, with no real continuity, to be a recognized formula in adult cartoons. Aqua Teen Hunger Force was not just another adult cartoon. It was a strange, offbeat, yet hugely influential show. I cannot say words anymore. I'm losing my voice. Help me, God. That opened the door for all sorts of experimental comedies. Aqua Teen Hunger Force definitely shaped my sense of humor quite a bit, along with South Park. I find humor in everything. That's probably why I'm a victim of the current brain rot plague that's been happening on like Instagram Reels, TikTok, Shorts, etc. This surreal nonsense, the amount of slop that is on the internet today, it's not good for me because this show in particular made me very, very, very accustomed to that type of humor, of just absolute insane nonsense happening. I find it hilarious for some reason, and the reason is this show. It was weird, random, and felt like it should have never existed. Yet that's exactly why we love the show. It remains a cult classic that changed adult animation forever. And what does Aqua Teen Hunger Force mean exactly? I'm sure you're curious. I probably should have put this in the beginning of the video. Well, the Hunger Force should be very apparent. They are a bunch of food. The teen is because, well, teens love fast food. And they're a bunch of, French fries, meat, milkshake. But what does the Aqua mean? Well, they live next to Carl, and Carl has a pool, which that pool they use a lot without his permission. That's it. I'm not even kidding. I'm pretty sure that's what the actual creator of the show said. That's why they named the show that. It is literal garbage nonsense. But what do you think? Have you seen the show? Would you like me to go more in depth on maybe specific villains or characters in general? Was this video complete garbage? Let me know in the comments. I love when people engage with my stuff. My name's Dakosity. I love you. Thank you for watching. I don't know how you got through me yapping. And I'll see you in the next one. Check out my other videos. Poggers.